What's up, everybody? Welcome to Buzzworthy TV. I'm the girl, Lady T. And today, we're going to be talking Surviving Compton. Dre, Suge, and Michel'le. Y'all, I have been waiting. Literally waiting. I've been doing a countdown for the past 30 days. Y'all, I've been so here for this movie. Y'all just do not know. Look, yeah, y'all see, yes, I am still literally in my pajamas because I had to, before I got completely dressed for work, I had to just spend some time and just talk to y'all about this movie. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, I'm just going to talk about, the basic points. Hopefully, it won't be too much of I won't give away too much of the movie, but just want to share my thoughts and everything that I saw in general. Okay, so now the beginning of the movie to me really reflected how and why Michel'le got into certain situations with men that she got into. Because in the very beginning of the movie, she's a little girl and she lives in South Central, and all she see in the hood is chicks getting their ass beat. And when she come home, her mama covering up bruises, and her grandma basically, all men do it. And if you want a man, that's what you got to put up with. I mean, you might find a needle in a haystack that won't hit you, but basically that's just what it is. And so you can kind of tell that she grew up thinking that, okay, this is what goes on in relationships or whatever. Okay, so fast forward, Michel'le is now a teenager. She works at this clothing store. Now, side note, let me tell you one thing that I do like about this movie that they did a little differently. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, at first it was a little creepy, but I started to get used to it. Michel'le would pop in and out of the movie as she's narrating. And by the way, they had Michel'le looking fantastic in that movie, y'all. Okay? She looked good. I'm like, go ahead, Michel'le. But anyway, so she's working at this clothing store. She lied about her age so she could work full-time at this clothing store. And as she's working, she's singing. Got this incredible voice. And Alonzo, who was with World Class Wrecking Crew, he heard her singing. It was like, hey, one of my singers just basically left me in the lurch or whatever, and I need you, to record this hook or whatever. Can you come to the studio? And she like, yeah, okay, whatever. She talks like this, and she's like, okay, whatever. And so when she gets there, she meets the guys who would become NWA. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, I think Yella, all of them. Like, she meets all of them. And they like, yo, actually Alonzo comes in there and was like, I got this girl coming in. First of all, she's late, so they irritated about that. And then when she comes in, she's explaining why she's late. And they like, dude, what the hell do you got us doing? Like, this girl sound like Minnie Mouse. And it was like, man, they was telling Dre, like, Dre, just give her a chance. And so Dre reluctantly plays the beat. She goes into that studio and she records a hook for World Class Wrecking Crew, one of their biggest hits, Turn Off the Lights, or Before You Turn Off the Lights. OMG. Michel'le, if y'all didn't know, had to re-record all these songs that she's known for. And when I tell you this woman still sounds freaking amazing, Michel'le, you need to hurry up and come out with some music. I'm serious. So anyway, it shows them listen to her record the hook, and she's like, is that okay? And they like, hell yeah. So after that, basically, she becomes part of the crew. They become like her big brothers, and you know, she's in the studio, you know, kicking it, drinking, you know, reporting hooks if they need. And while they're doing that, Dre and Eazy-E, they both kind of like calling her every day, both trying to get her attention. You know, it's kind of cute. You know, like I said, they're all young teenagers. And so anyway, she is up with Dre. Between Eazy-E and Dre, she is up with Dre. We all know this. And, okay, the light, okay, that's a little bit better. Alright, so she is up with Dre. And, you know, at first, to me, it was all good. Like, it was just like two normal young couples, you know. They were just trying to make it. Now, the issue was, before the abuse started, that basically Dre was just out there hoeing around, y'all. Like, he had baby after baby after baby. So, their first issue is that, you know, they in the studio and Val, one of his baby mamas calls and I guess tell him that, you know, she about to have a baby. And he just hangs up the phone and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I got this chick named Val pregnant. She about to have a baby and I gotta go. And Michel'le, instead of cussing him out, like, well, handle your business. I'm like, Michel'le. Huh? But then I had to remember, this is how she grew up. She grew up believing that men are going to cheat, men are going to be abusive, you know. That's just what it is. So, you know, she took it, let him, but, you know, when he came back, she did tell him, like, you know, I'm just sick of you lying. You don't even know how many kids you got, and blah, blah, blah. But she ends up forgiving him, and they end up moving in together. Now, as they're moving in together, and, you know, progressing in their relationship, Dre's career is taking off. They meet with Jerry Heller, and he's putting them on tour. And like I said, everything is good. They starting to make money. So Dre is like, you know, I'm sorry. This won't ever happen again. Please take me back. Matter of fact, we need to go ahead and move in together. And so they do move in together. Like I said, NWA is just taking off. And at this time, Jerry Heller is asking Michel'le, do she want to do her own record? Now, mind you, by this time, she's been doing hooks and just basically just hanging out, just being, you know, the girl in the crew, you know, the sister, the girlfriend, whatever. And she's like, really? Yeah, my own record? Sorry, y'all, I can't sound like her. I'm trying. So she starts working on her first album. Now, she gets the beat for one of her biggest hits, No More Lies. You say you love me, but I... So anyway, so as she's, you know, listening to the beat, trying to get the lyrics together, she looks at the couch and she sees some women's underwear. So by this time, it gives her motivation to come up with No More Lies. And so when she gets in the studio to record it, you know, she's just going in, like, and everybody feeling it. But all the guys, they kind of figure that she's singing about Dre, so they laugh and making fun of Dre. And Dre kind of getting his feelings or whatever, so he leaves. And this is when shit goes left, y'all. And I say I didn't want to do a spoiler alert, but y'all, this movie had so many layers. And I just, wow. Okay, so this is where we get to the abuse. Like I said, he's upset. He was feeling some type of way because Michel'le basically put him on blast in the song. So he goes out, gets drunk as hell, and then comes back home and just starts beating her ass. And I'm like, wow. And I ain't talking about like cussing her out and just a slap, which that ain't okay either. Okay, let's just get that straight. But I'm saying, like, he literally beat her ass. Like, you can literally hear the punches. And after that, the whole tone of the movie just changed. Like, I instantly became sad. Like, throughout this whole movie, I was just filled with sadness after this point. Like, I just felt so bad because she was literally getting the hell beat out of her, y'all. So, he beats her up the first time, and he gets off of her finally after he literally just punched her. Repeatedly punches her in the face. He gets off of her and then starts crying. And I'm with Michel'le. She was like, he the one crying? I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. He the one. Nigga, what you crying for? I'm the one with a broken nose, black eyes, and all that. Like, oh my goodness, Dre, you got your nerve. So, like I said, this is where the cycle of abuse, we see the cycle of abuse. And after that, it just goes downhill from there. She's trying to record Something's in My Heart. He's, going in on her, cussing her out, calling her all sorts of bitches. And, mind you, she in the studio, he grabbing her up, and she got a black eye. So he grabbing her up in the studio, calling all sorts of names, and she still ain't healed from the black eye that you gave her. And she just singing her poor little heart out on Something's in My Heart. And I'm like, wow. Wow. Poor Michel'le, y'all. So to kind of, I guess, get through it, she starts self-medicating. And she starts drinking a lot, doing prescription drugs, like she said, Valium, Vicodin, Prozac, Xanax, anything. Her drug of choice was prescription drugs, painkillers, and lots of them, and a lot of alcohol. And, it gets really bad. Like, a couple of instances, like one time, Easy calls her and warns her that Dre is on his way home. He had been drinking, and basically he wilded out. If he tells her she better get out, this girl just goes for her drugs and just sits there. Hold on. Yeah, so basically she just stays there and just dopes herself up. And it was it was another thing, she done. By this time, they've been together for years. She's been enduring a whole lot of abuse. They have a baby together. Matter of fact, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Her career at this time, amidst all this abuse, her album does come out, and her career is taking off. She's going on tour with MC Hammer. She got like 3 top 10 singles, Normalized, Nasty, and Something's in My Heart. Like, they kept saying her album was gold. And yeah, initially it went gold, but it eventually went platinum. Like, Michel'le's career was taking off. Like, I was an 80s baby, but when she came out, it was like the late 80s. And I was, even as a little kid, was like a huge music person. So I remember her even back then when she first came out. And I remember particularly because, like, again, I said I was a music lover. And you can't forget the fact that she has this amazing singing voice. But she talks like this. So that always intrigued me, even as a little girl. So anyway, her career is taking off as well. And anyway, so one particular scene, she's having this party. She's just out of it, drinking, smoking, her baby there. And this guy just starts shooting up the place. Now, she comes out of it enough to grab her baby and everything. But by then the damage is done. It shakes her to the point where she has to have her mom and grandmother take care of Marcel, which is the baby that she has by Dr. Dre. And she begs Dre, like, hey, I need to go get help. And he's just like, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Shut the fuck up, bothering me. Don't you see I'm busy? Because she had went to the studio and was trying to, like, tell him, like, I need help. And also at this time, she has met Suge Knight, because Suge Knight has become a fixture in their lives, because Dr. Dre has now left Ruthless Records, and has moved on to start Death Row with Suge Knight. So Suge Knight is now a permanent fixture in their life. And at first, she did not like Suge Knight. She thought he was the devil incarnate. Okay? But, after a while, she started, like, letting her guard down, because Dre would do crazy stuff like leave her and their son in the house for like weeks on end with no food, no money, And one time the lights was cut off, and she called Suge looking for Dre, and Suge came there and gave her food and possibly some money or whatever. So they became cool. Now, here's the thing. Two things that I noticed when this happened. First of all, when I saw that Michel'le was in their house with no lights and no food, I said, Michel'le, sweetie, baby, I'm going to need you to be a little bit smarter than that. I need you to have some common sense. Like, why didn't you? Like, you had your own hits. Like, I just named 3 of your top 10 R&B hits. You had hits. You was a singer in your own right. So why you didn't put any money up? I'm pretty sure even if Dre didn't give you money all like that, he's giving you money from time to time. So why didn't you put some money up? Like, I just never understood why she had all this but absolutely no access to no money. And I don't know if it was because Dre, I mean, I'm pretty sure Dre made the majority of the money, so he was in control of the finances. But I'm thinking, like, what happened to the money that she made with what she had put out? Like, I don't know, but I just wish she was smart enough to have some money put aside, because, like, without Dre being there, she really didn't have nothing. And, I mean, that's how Suge Knight was actually able to start manipulating the situation, because, you know, eventually she does go to rehab thanks to Suge Knight, because, like I said, Dre was not trying to hear that. He could care less. And Suge Knight was like, well, if you really want help, I will pay for you to go to rehab. You just have to do the work. So she goes to rehab, comes out, and finds out that Dre basically got engaged. So she starts to move on and breaks up with Dre. Basically, you know, she's free. She's finally got over that part of her life, and she starts seeing Suge Knight. Now, at first, it was cool. Like she said, a lot of people asked her, like, how did you get into this situation? She said, I'm going to ask you something. Okay, you got this man, and she was talking about Dre. You got this man that you had great sex with. You know, he cheated on you. He was physically and emotionally abusive. And now you got this other guy. The sex isn't as great, but he's offering you, you know, security, money, and power. What would you do? So she knew that she liked Suge, and Suge was her protector. And I can kind of see that, because if you think about it, okay, like, how do I explain this? Like, if you think about it, like, yeah, she thought he was the devil incarnate, but it's something kind of endearing when a man is that big and strong, and as long as you know that he loves you or he's willing to protect you, you feel secure, you feel protected. So I can see the attraction. So she starts seeing Suge. He gets sent to jail because he violates his parole when him and Tupac got into that fight with them guys in Vegas or whatever. So, after that, you know, she starts seeing him in jail, and he signs over, you know, basically death row to her. He makes her the CEO, and, you know, she's going to visit him every week. Well, she tells him, you know, first of all, the security, all the security you have for me is way too much. And, you know, basically it's like, you know, the first thing they don't do is go after you because they trying to get to me. And he was like, don't worry, you can always come visit me every weekend. You know, that'll basically be your time out. And I'm like, a trip to jail is her time out for being locked up in that house? Boy, bye. So anyway, she's like, no, I can't do that. You know, I have to get my son on the weekends, because her mother still has her sons. Like, I think her son. I think her mother has Marcel, like, well, she said it Monday through Thursday, then she had it from Thursday to Sunday. So anyway, you know, his lawyer reminded her that she's getting paid $30,000 a month or whatever. So basically, she's just caught up in this whole world of money and manipulation. And so, you know, And he threatens her every time she tries to leave and say, you can have your money back, I'll move out, it don't matter. And he starts threatening about, hurt her son and her mama and her grandma. And so she does what she's told. And so eventually, of course, they get married while he's in jail. He's in and out of jail. And this last particular time that he went to jail, come to find out he got all these financial issues, problems with the IRS. Tupac is dead. All the death row artists are leaving because, again, he's in jail. And even though she's trying to run the company, through Suge, it just ain't working. So he was into all these money issues. So basically, the movie is, like I said, she married Suge Knight, and she comes to find out while he's in jail that he done put all this stuff in her name, houses, all sorts of stuff. So when he gets out of jail the last time, she basically goes off on him and just stands up to him, and it shows her, leaving that relationship and just becoming stronger and more confident. Okay, so that was the movie. Now, I overall enjoyed the movie. It told a very compelling story, but I had some flaws. First of all, the girl who played Michel'le freaking killed it. The whole cast freaking killed it. I thought the acting was on point. I have just a couple of critiques because on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like an 8. And here's why it's not a complete 10. First of all, there's always room for error. And then number 2, it's like a couple of things that was to be missing. First of all, Michel'le, boo-boo, I love you. I love you to death. You come off to me as one of the sweetest persons in the industry. But my problem is, everybody know that, I totally believe that Dre and Suge took advantage of you. They were abusive. They beat you. All that. I get it. But you weren't innocent. I do believe that you got so sick of the abuse and Dre doing what he was doing. I do believe that you start sleeping with other people and doing your own thing, especially when you get drugs in the mix. That's what people tend to do. So I believe what some of the people from NWA and Ruthless Records were saying, like Daz and all them. I believe that you were messing around. So I thought she should have put that out there. I think that she should have put out there that I also do believe that when you got some power in regards to Death Row Records, that you probably wasn't handling the finances in the best way. And you probably did screw over some of his artists. And maybe that's why some of them left. I do believe that even the ones that was willing to stick it out, she probably did mess over them a little bit. So that's all. I kind of wanted to see a little bit of that, because I'm not saying that you didn't put some of your dirt out there. I mean, it showed how, again, you were really out there as far as the drugs, and it showed that you weren't the best mother to you and Dre's son. I get that. But I would like to, explore some of that other stuff that we heard about with you and Death Row. And which leads me to my second point. I wish it was a little bit longer. And maybe, again, because it was a little bit longer, maybe she would have expounded on some of the controversy with Death Row Records and some of the people who were down with Ruthless Records and NWA. We could have got more into that and, why certain people feel the way they feel about her because of how she was a hoe and how she was, as a businesswoman, she was just fucked up. So, and I would also have liked to have seen, Michel'le dealt with suicide quite a bit. She's attempted suicide that she admitted to publicly twice. Okay, and it happened after her mom and her grandma died within 3 months of each other. So I would have loved to have seen that. So I just wish it was a little longer because, again, the acting was great. the characters were on point. So I think that if they could have just took it a step further, it would have been phenomenal. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie. As far as Dre, talk about he goes sue. Negro, like I said, Michel'le wasn't no angel, but I believe what she says. I believe that you used to beat the crap out of her. And yeah, you gotta own your stuff. I mean, nobody is the same person they are when they're in their late teens, early 20s. Just be a man, own up to it, and move on. That's all. I mean, she's not the same person that she was back then, and neither are you. Let's just, y'all both got a chance to tell y'all side of the story. You know, again, I do believe it's 3 sides to the story. It's always your side, their side, and the truth. So I believe that with this. It's her side, his side, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. So anyway, y'all, let me know in the comment section what y'all think of the movie. And till next time, y'all, peace and love.